All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Courts. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. Number one, it's Monday. Let's not turn this into an unhappy Monday. Let's keep it a glorious Monday that it is. To all the inmates, you need to stay on mute until I ask you to unmute. All right, these are the rules of the 187 District Courtroom. You're in a courtroom. Whatever you could not do if you were present in the courtroom, you can't do on this Zoom screen. There's to be no eating, no laying in bed, no fixing breakfast, no changing of diapers. If you're at work, you need to tell your employer you need to take a break and you need to find a quiet place and you need to find a place that is stationary. If you violate the rules of the 187 District Court and do not behave as though you're in the 187 District Court, what will end up happening is your Monday is going to turn into an unhappy Monday because your Zoom privileges will be revoked. If you're at the jail, you're going to be sent back to your cell. We will be able to see you probably in 30 or 60 days. They are shorthanded. If you are out of county, out of state, out of the country, you will be required to appear in the 187 District Court today. Mr. Cole, are you driving and Zooming or is someone else driving you?
Good morning, Your Honor. Somebody else is driving now.
Okay.
I'm about to start.
All right. The other thing, to the inmates, you are not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you'll be sent back to your cell. You're not allowed to use the internet or Facebook. If you use that, you'll be sent back to your cell. To all attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, no matter how small you think that plea bargain agreement is, you need to put that agreement in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator. Do not call, do not chat, do not email the coordinator asking her for resets, continuances, that you have to go to another court. The only person who can excuse me is, the only person who can excuse you is the court. Attorneys, when I send you to the breakout room and you come back from the breakout room, if you're ready to give the court an update, just use the reaction with the hand raised. That'll help me be able to see you. If you are Zooming in another court, attorneys, and your screen is black, I'm not going to call on you. So I need to see your face. Otherwise, it's just a blacked out screen for me and I don't see you. So realize that. To all the defendants and those who are accused who are on this screen, you need to show your video at all times. Who is Aurora Gomez?
That's our advocate, Judge.
Okay. All right, attorneys. This is the order in which you'll appear. To all the defendants, I'm going to call your attorney's name, not your name. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is Zooming in another courtroom or is out of county. Your attorney will have a chance to speak with you, and trust me, they will Zoom in. So everyone be patient, put some patience in your pocket. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I do, it's going to ask everyone to go to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all the defendants and those who are accused, your attorney is probably going to want to speak to the state before they speak to you. So please do not ask if you should be in a breakout room. If your attorney wants you in the breakout room, they will call you by name. This is the list of attorneys: Stephen Harkowitz, Jeannie Cupid, Jason Todd, Rick Ramos, Linda Corley, Shannon Locke, David Castillo, Orlando Castagnone, and Russell Mitchell. Is there any attorney that I've missed?
Judge, I received, good morning, Kathy Compton. I received a notice this morning, but I'm not quite sure why I received it to be here. I had Dion Mason. I believe there had been a violation report submitted to the court, and perhaps that's
why you're here. Okay. All right, to all attorneys, If you have the ability, I need you to change, add to your screen name. Keep your name as attorney, but if you could add the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence, that would help things move along quicker. But if you can't, I will do that on my end. So attorneys, if you can tell me the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. Steve Harkowitz.
Judge, here I'm here with regards to a treatment issue.
What's your client's full name?
Juan Ramirez.
Judge, I'm waiting for a response. I emailed whoever I needed to email earlier this morning.
All right, Mr. Harkowitz, if you'd like to zoom out and zoom back in, you can. Probation is seeing where we are on the treatment for him.
Okay, I've got a case in the 379th. I'll go over there and I'll come back a little later on.
All right, thank you. And
Thank
attorneys,
you, Judge.
you're welcome. Attorneys, the prosecutors have the ability to move throughout the breakout rooms. So think of those breakout rooms as going to the doctor's office when you go. You don't see the doctor right away. They're just checking your weight and your blood pressure. Everyone put patience in your pocket. The prosecutors will get to you as quickly as possible. Jenny Cupid, thank you for changing your screen name. I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Judge, as a reminder, this was a recall from Friday where we had conferred, I conferred with David. My client was on the construction site, and for safety, we recalled him today just to do the trial date.
Okay. All right, then just give us one moment. Do you want to confer one last time? Is there a prosecutor to confer one last time with Ms. Cupid, please?
I'd love to, Judge.
All right, so if you go to breakout room number 2, it's family violence, oh Hunter.
Oh, man.
But I love the way you're jumping in. I appreciate it.
Rain check.
There's David.
David said you called it, Hunter. So Jenny, if you'll go to number 2, please. All right, Jason Todd, thank you for changing your name. I'll send you to number 3. He has Robert Klein, family violence.
And Judge, we've already have an agreement. If I could have Mr. Klein in there to go over it, that would be ideal.
Okay, and did you send the agreement to Ms. Ferguson?
I have not today, but I will. This is a
All right.
reason from in which we just didn't get the paperwork done.
Okay.
I'll do that right now, Judge.
Yes. And is your client on bond or in custody?
He's on bond, Your Honor. Robert Klein. He's on the.
Okay, I
second
see
bond.
him.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Klein, if you could go to breakout room number 3 for me, please. Rick Ramos.
Good morning, Your Honor. It's a CTD case for Mr. Roon. He's on bond.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Linda Corley, thank you for changing your name. I'll see you to number 5.
Thank you, Judge.
Shannon Locke.
Yes, Your Honor. I have Joseph Coy today. It's his sentencing. I don't believe I need to confer with the state, but I would like to talk to my client very briefly this morning.
Okay. I'll send you to breakout room number 6. And Mr. Coy, if you go to 6, please. David Castillo. David Castillo. You're on mute.
Judge, I couldn't figure out how to change my name real quickly.
That's okay.
Jason Brown, Criminal Trial Division.
You say Jason Brown?
Yes, Judge.
I'll send you to number 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Orlando Castellon, just give us a moment. Russell Mitchell.
Hey, Judge, I've got Charles Jones. It's a CTD, but he has, my case is a state jail. He picked up 3, he has 3 pending unindicted second-degree drug cases. I think they're still waiting for labs. So I don't know if I can get a reset on this one. I'm sure this case will probably be taken care of with any kind of deals that he gets worked out on.
Are
those
you
other
on the,
ones.
are you
And
the
and I'm not
attorney?
his lawyer.
Are- Who's the attorney on the other
I
cases?
am not, on the unindicted cases, Judge, they're second degrees. I think it's, Ricardo Ramos, that is.
All right,
or-
Norma, on.
I forget, it's not,
Yolanda, on Charles Jones, can you look up and put in the chat box who his attorney is on the new cases, please?
He's right, Judge. It's Ricardo Ramos.
Okay. Norma, can you put in the chat box on Charles Jones, if I could have a 30-day reset, please?
Yes,
That'd
ma'am,
be
but Ricardo Ramos is supposed to be here in a few minutes, Judge.
Okay. I mean, we can't do anything with the other cases, so if I could get a 30-day reset.
Yes,
that'd be great. Thanks, Judge. Thanks, Judge. Thanks, Norma.
I can do November 1st.
Okay, that sounds good. Hopefully the second degrees will be indicted by then. We'll see.
All right, your excuse.
Okay, thanks, Judge. Thanks,
You're
Tom.
welcome. All right. Kathy Compton. Thank you
Yes,
for
good morning,
changing your
Judge.
name. And I will put on here that there's a violation report. And I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8. All right, and Orlando, if I could see you. And number 9, please.
Okay, Judge.
And everyone, I will be right back. All right, to the prosecutor, Orlando Castellon is in number 9 on Gabriel Montoya. All right, Jenny Cupid, are we still on for a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor. David and I conferred and we've chosen January 13th.
Well, no, you guys, did you guys?
Well, we
confirm
haven't
with-
chosen, we would propose to the court.
Now, you guys need to propose that to Norma. And Norma, when you come back in the breakout room, if you can put the trial date in the chat box, please.
I think we got that date on Friday, Judge,
We did.
from Norma.
From Norma?
Yeah.
We did, Your Honor.
All right, what date?
January 13th.
Okay. We are going to go on the record. Brenna, is the computer working? I'm trying not to get too happy over, the computer works. All right, Mr. Cole. Need to unmute for me, please. Good morning. Court is calling
Good morning.
2019 CR 9039, State of Texas versus James Arlington Cole. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
David Martin.
for the defense?
Jeannie Cupid.
And are you Mr. Cole?
No.
All right, you're going to need to speak up. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No.
No.
Any objections from the defense?
None.
Mr. Cole, you have any objections with this taking place by video?
No.
All right, defense, have you received all the discovery in this case?
Yes, to my knowledge, Your Honor.
Court will note for the record that the court is in receipt of an acknowledgement of discovery dated on January 30th, 2020. Defense, did you receive an offer from the state?
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
Mr. Cole, are you rejecting that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then, Mr. Cole, your jury trial date will be January 13th, 2021. Any objection to January 13th, 2022
Yes, ma'am.
as
Yes, ma'am.
a jury trial date, state?
No objection.
Defense?
No objection.
Mr. Cole, do you have any objection to January 13th, 2022 as a jury trial date?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Cole, your jury trial date will be January 13th, 2022. You will be required to appear in court dressed for trial. Your trial date will take place at 9 a.m. in the 187 District Court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When is your jury trial date?
January 13th, 2022,
What time?
9 a.m.,
Which court?
187.
All right, Mr. Cole, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case. If you decide to enter a plea, the court will only accept pleas open to the court. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right, if there's nothing else, the court will close the record and you all are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
God bless.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too. Brenda, it's going to be a great Monday. I'm already receiving God bless yous.
Judge, could you, when you get a chance, please put, he's in custody, Gabriel Montoya, into breakout room number 9, please?
Mr. Montoya, if you go to breakout room number 9, please. And to the clerks, you should have paperwork coming to you on Mr. Klein, Robert Klein.
Judge, I send you a chat.
Everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Excuse me.
All right, Norma, could I have a reset date on Gonzalez 14D? Mr. Gonzalez, we're going to recall you. And can you unmute for me, please, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on Arturo Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your attorney is Robert Porter. He's not going to be able to be here for because of medical issues, not related to him, but related to someone in his family.
Yes,
So we're
ma'am.
going to recall your case for 2 weeks, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Norma, can you give me a 2-week reset date in the chat box, please?
Yes, sir. We can do.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes,
we're going
ma'am.
to come back on October 11th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for your patience.
Yes, ma'am. You have a good day.
Oh, thank you. You have a great day too. Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Gonzalez can go back? All of the inmates don't leave the screen or leave the box unless I give you permission to leave, because the deputies don't like you roaming around. So the court coordinator will call the jail and let them know that your case is done.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, ma'am.
And everyone, just give me a moment.
Hey, Robert, Mr. Klein, if you'll mute
Yes,
your,
sir.
if you'll mute your Zoom, please.
Yes. Okay.
All right, everyone, I'm back. Linda Corley.
Yes, Your Honor. I have conferred, I'm going to be getting some information together for the prosecutor, and he's getting some restitution information as well. If we could have a reset.
How much time are you asking for?
Judge, if you could give us 30 days, we've got quite a lot to work out.
All right, Norma, if you can give me a 30-day reset in the chat box, please. And is this a case that's going to be disposed of ultimately, Ms. Corley?
Judge, at this point, I'm not sure whether it's going to go to trial or what's going to happen. I'm hoping by the next court date, I'll be able to give you a better answer on that.
All right, because we reset this before, and I understand there were competency issues. Has that been taken care of?
Yes, Your Honor, it has. So that's why we're back here.
All right, is your client in custody or on bond?
He's on bond and he is on camera.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rowley, we're going to bring you back on November 1st. And this is for restitution. Is that correct, Ms. Corley?
Well, probably more than restitution. We don't have a plea offer yet. Like I said, I've got quite a few documents and discussions to have with Marcus on this. So, but I will be conferring with him between court dates, Judge. So I'm hoping that I can have a more definitive answer for you in November.
All right, we'll see you all back on November 1st. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Mr. Riley, you can hit leave meeting and get Cynthia to help you with that.
All right, Jason Todd.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Klein and I are ready, but I am looking across the Zoom board, and I think I want to say I talked to Joe Ray Garcia on this, and I'm not seeing him here. So I thought we were agreed, but I don't think I've heard that from the prosecutor that might be handling it today.
Joe Ray is in breakout room number 8.
Oh, great.
As soon as he comes out of 8, we'll get back with you.
Thank you, Judge. Otherwise, we're ready.
All right, thank you. Has your client been sworn in? Do you have all paperwork or no?
I believe we've submitted everything. He has not been sworn in.
All right, to the clerks, I'm going to send Robert Klein to breakout room number 1. Could you see if you have all the paperwork for Mr. Klein?
And Your Honor, this is just an MTA, and it's the consent and the waiver.
Okay, they'll let me know because,
Yeah, Judge, yeah, I think that's the work I just gave you.
okay, thank you. Well, I have everything. Mr. Klein, stay put. I think he's already went. Can you send him number 1 and let him know just to come out?
Yes, Judge.
You're welcome. Orlando Castellano, Mr. Montoya.
Yeah, I think my client wandered off.
Yeah, Judge, we think he might have, unless he's still in breakout room 9 by himself.
I went back to breakout room 9. He wasn't there. And,
Norma, can you have Mr. Montoya come back, please?
I think he may have been confused at what we were doing.
Okay.
They're bringing him back, Judge.
All right, thank you. Tom, can I see you in breakout room number 1, please?
Sure.
And everyone, just give me a moment. I will be right back.
Norma, is Hunter on or in the office today?
I don't see him. Give me 1 second. Brenda, do you know if Hunter's here?
He's here. Might be in a breakout room.
Okay, give me I'm just not a co-host, so I can't see him. I'll text him. Give me 1 second.
And let me see where Joe Ray is.
I'm back, Judge.
All right, Joe Ray. Jason Todd says that you all have an agreement.
Yes, it's been a while since I spoke to him, but we did.
All right, I can send you all quickly to breakout. If you can go to breakout room number 1, and Jason, if you could go to number 1 to discuss what the agreement is.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, Joe Ray, for your patience.
All right, and Kathy Compton on Dion Mason.
Yes, Your Honor, good morning. Joe Ray and I had conferred, and my client actually has a misdemeanor warrant that he's going to be turning himself in on.
Okay.
And we discussed asking the court to continue him on the bond. The state would agree to GPS with the fees waived as he is indigent. I am court appointed for him, and with weekly UAs as an added condition if the court would allow us to do that.
Okay, let's do this. I'm going to issue a judge's warrant because I don't know where your client is on the Zoom, but he hasn't reported for anything. And I know you say he's going to turn himself in, but once he turns himself in, let me know. And then I will entertain changing my order. But for now, he hasn't turned himself in. He's on the screen.
That's correct, Judge. I discussed with him yesterday, and his plan was to turn himself in this afternoon. So,
all right. Well, as soon as he turns himself in, let the court know, because my concern is he is on bond for the continuous family violence, and the offense date in that is May 21st. And then he has a violation of bond or protective order issued on September 16th, 2021. So once he turns himself in, If you all have an agreement, of course, I will consider it.
So will we need another setting once he turns himself in, Your Honor?
No, just contact Ms. Ferguson. Once he turns himself in, you all can Zoom in at any time. We're here Monday through Friday.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Judge. Can I be
All right, you're
excused?
welcome. Yes, thank you for coming. Do you need to speak with your client?
No, I'll talk to him later. I have a way to get a hold of him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Shannon Locke?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
So we are, so I have two witnesses that I want to have the court hear from. I've spoken to my client, and Your Honor, I'd put CTD in my name, but it was actually a family violence. It's a family violence case.
Okay, and State, are you going to have witnesses on this sentencing?
I believe it is silent, Your Honor.
Oh, it's silent? All right, then just give me one moment. Andres Campion, who do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I represent Julian Salazar. We are here present in the courtroom. I just decided to Zoom on as the clerk is trying to set up the Zoom in the courtroom. We need to execute a plea, but it's for a time to do, and that's why Mr. Salazar is here present.
All right, it's CTD. Has the plea already been done or no?
No, Your Honor. That's why I need to speak with Mr. Morris.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2, and he will meet you there.
Happily, Judge.
Thank you.
You there, Hunter?
All right, David Castillo.
Judge, I conferred with Marcus Sanders on Jason Brown.
Yes.
And we need at least 30 days for lab tests to come back.
All right, and where is Jason Brown?
He's in breakout room 7.
All right, you need to bring him back to the main room.
Oh, okay, Judge.
No problem. And you can go back to that room because you're assigned there.
Judge, can I see you in the breakout room?
Yes, I'll see you in breakout room number 3. Everyone, just give me a moment, please. And Orlando Castellon, your client is back. Mr. Montoya, can you unmute yourself? Mr. Montoya, is there a reason why you left?
I thought I was gonna get a reset.
Didn't I say that nobody is to leave unless I excuse them?
Yes, ma'am.
Do not do that again.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8 to speak with your client, with your attorney, and you are not excused until I tell you you're excused.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jason Brown, unmute.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I hope you have a good reason for why you don't have a shirt on.
Yes, ma'am. I was shot 7 times with an AK-47, and I cannot walk or do anything by myself. I am disabled. And both
Okay,
my
that's a good reason. I wanted to make sure you were just not laying around with no shirt on for no reason. So I understand.
Yes,
State, are you aware of Mr. Brown's injuries? Anyone? Anyone aware of Mr. Brown's injuries? Is there a police report that's been filed?
Yes, ma'am. It's with homicide. I just got out of the hospital. I've been in the ICU for the past month and a half.
All right. We're going to recall you for November 1st.
Yeah, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Kelly, I sent you a chat
Okay, I will check now. Thank you.
All right. Orlando Castillo, what are we doing with Mr. Montoya?
We have I think an offer on the table that state has kind of given us a deadline. And so he wanted a little time to discuss it with his family and to think about what he wants to do. I believe the state was wanting to recall us for Friday.
Okay.
Judge, I thought today was going to be the decision. And apparently it's not. Defense wanted more time. I would agree to recall it on Friday, though.
All right, Mr. Montoya, we're coming back on Friday, and I'm going to give you the speech, Mr. Montoya. Everyone has heard this speech many a time, but parents tell me they appreciate me giving this speech.
Yes,
If there's a party that your friends are throwing and they tell you, Mr. Montoya, there are going to be drugs at this party, we're going to have a wild time, your parents would appreciate it if you would tell them before you go to the party that, hey, I've been invited to this party. There are going to be drugs there. It's going to be a wild, crazy time. Your parents would appreciate it if you would call them then instead of calling them after you go to a party and potentially get arrested and get other problems. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Montoya, I'm going to call you back on Friday. Friday is your plea deadline date. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we will be back here on October 1st. Oh my gosh, where has the month gone? So we're gonna call you back on October 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused. We're gonna let the deputies know. Don't wander off because the
Ma'am.
deputies don't like that. So Norma, if you can let the deputies know that Mr. Montoya can go back. All right, Orlando Castellon, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Rick Ramos.
Good morning, Judge. I have conferred with Mr. Morris, and Mr. Morris is present, I believe, so he can correct me if I'm wrong. We're here this morning on Mr. Garrett Roon. I had filed a motion to remove his GPS and in the alternative to change it to tracking only. The state is in agreement to not oppose tracking only. However, we'd like to come to the court and ask for removal. And we can tell the court why if you want to hear us out, Judge. I'm not sure how you want to handle the matter.
All right, just give me a moment because I'm trying to find the motion on that. So just give me 1 second. But I'm going to take up Mr. Klein first and then hear the matter on Shannon Lott's sentencing. So
Yes.
just give me a moment because I need that motion found.
Yes, Judge.
All right, who are the parties on Robert Shannon Klein?
Jury for the state.
Okay, so wait a minute. Deputy Laura is not here, is that correct?
No, Judge, she's not.
Ah, that is why we're having issues in the courtroom.
Hello.
Hi, that is not the computer that you have the sound on. The sound needs to be on the one that's for the 187 District Court.
I'll go help them, Judge.
All right, thanks, Brenna. Everyone, just give us a moment.
No, that's the prosecutor.
I don't know how they set things up in here, Brennan.
You are not to have the one on the courtroom on. Everyone, give me a moment. I'm gonna see what's happening in the courtroom.
Put that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get started.
No, Salazar is holding.
Judge, can you test to see if they can hear in here?
Yes, I can actually hear it now. So Brenda, that's the one that's supposed to be unmuted is the 187 DC that's listed. So I think we are good to go.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
All right, thank you. All right, let me see it in my box. Could you send me the, there it is. Okay, could I see Tiffany Jeffcoat, please? Tiffany Jeffcoat, where are you?
Yes, ma'am.
And who is your officer?
Officer Kelly.
All right. All right, Ms. Jeffcoat.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, we're going to, we're not on the record. So this is the issue. The issue is you owe money. The complainants want their money. And you need to pay it. And I know you're saying that you can pay a certain amount in 10 years, but the problem is you owe the complainant more than $10,000. So you're going to be put on a payment plan and you need to start working towards paying that restitution because you owe $40,000 and you need to pay that. And paying, 10 years in 1 year when you're this close to expiration is not going to be good enough. So you're going to be put on a payment plan, and you need to make those payments. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
What I've discovered is if somebody says, oh, I can pay 10,000 in a year, what ends up happening is they wait till the end of the year, and then they're trying to put money together to make that $10,000 payment, when it is easier and best if you pay something every month. So you're going to come up with a payment plan with Ms. Kelly, and that's what you're going to do. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge. I have been paying monthly payments, and I've also actually been contributing to my 401k so that it's a 4% match. That way, when it comes to 1 year, I can be able to take a big lump sum out. It's not free money technically, but I'm getting matched 100% of my 4%.
Okay. All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with Ms. Kelly so that they can tell you how much you need to pay monthly in order to settle your restitution amount that you owe.
Yes.
Ms. Kelly, are you able to do that? Is there anything else that she needs to be admonished on?
No, Your Honor. Would you like to come back in 90 days to assess where she is in regards to those payments?
Yes. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 90-day reset in the chat box, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is all, Your Honor. Any other questions or comments?
No, I'm just going to give her a 90-day reset, and Ms. Jeffcoat, we'll see where you are in 90 days. So just make sure you follow through on the payment plan. And I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your officer so you all can go over payment plan.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And as soon as I get the date, I will give that to you. I'll send you to a breakout room.
Thank you.
All right, we're coming back on January 10th, 2022. And that will be at 9 a.m. And Ms. Kelly, when you and both Ms. Jeffcoat zoom in at 9 a.m., if everything is going great, just let me know and I'll take you up first so you won't be here so long. I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And let me find Tiffany. And then Kelly. All right, so Mr. Klein, we're ready on Mr. Klein.
I believe so, Judge. And Robert, if you could unmute yourself for the hearing, please.
And Brenda, thank you for taking care of the court issues. I think Deputy Laura is gone and now we appreciate her more than ever, although we did appreciate it before. And thank you to the deputies who are here today. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 1791, State of Texas versus Robert Shannon Klein. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joey Garcia.
For the defense?
Jason Todd for Robert Klein.
And are you Mr. Klein?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Klein, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision, and states motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation. Did you review those documents with your attorney and did you understand them?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Brenda, this is like bad Dolby. Like his mouse moves, no sound, and then the sound comes after. Are you the same Robert Shannon Klein who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 1791 for the offense of stalking on December 14, 2020 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
Violated condition number 2 on or about the 15th day of December 2020 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Robert Shannon Klein, did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely meth/amphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State waives the remaining conditions, Your Honor.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
None, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Klein, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
There is,
Yes,
Your Honor.
What are you requesting?
Judge, we've reached an agreement with the state, and what we're requesting, if you find it appropriate, is that you continue Mr. Klein on his deferred adjudication, and you add the condition of outpatient treatment. And if the judge would like, I have a short update on where Mr. Klein is, if it would help you make your decision.
Yes, what is the update on Mr. Klein?
Mr. Klein, when he started this deferred, Your Honor, his father was really sick. And so he was going back and forth between his house. He was living with his father, and his father was sick and taking care of him. His father has since passed, and it is a tragic passing. I think some of the drug use and some of the issues here are not excused, but that does explain what he's been going through. And what we're hoping for is a reboot and a little bit help to get him back on track.
All right, Mr. Klein, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. So, Mr. Klein, I'm inclined to go along with the state's agreements, but I want to figure out where you're at with your sobriety. So when did you start using meth?
Excuse me?
When did you start using meth?
It was a few times. I just had a lot of things going on, and it was just one of those things that happened.
How often were you using?
Oh, not very often.
If you're drug tested today and know you're going to get drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Clean.
Right. So
I've been
when's the
taking-
last time you used?
So it's been when I get in trouble.
That doesn't help me. What's the last day that you used?
I couldn't tell you. September, maybe.
September what? Was it yesterday? Was it Saturday?
No. Nothing like around when my father passed away. He took his own life. And it wasn't methamphetamine. It was they gave me some stuff to calm me down, to Xanax or whatever. It was just unfortunately my sister-in-law. I guess it was just something to keep me calm. It was a pretty horrific accident or what happened to my father.
All right.
He took his own life. He took his own life.
Okay, this is what the court is going to do. I'm going to ask for a UA. You're going to do a UA today by 3:30 p.m. Rebecca, if the
Okay.
UA is clean, then we're gonna place him in NA classes. Or either AA, he can do NA or AA. And that's gonna be 90 meetings in 90 days. If he is positive, then I'm gonna want intensive outpatient treatment with probation.
Okay, Your Honor.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Oh, I do have a prescription for my hydrocodone, and I just can't get out of the hospital with subscription. Do I take those with me to the UAE place?
Yes, you need to take
Or-
those prescriptions with you. And Mr.
I
Klein,
should,
Mr. Klein,
yes, ma'am.
here's the thing. When people are sober and they're in their sobriety, you know how people say you fall off the wagon or either you're on the wagon. When people are in the wagon,
Yes, ma'am.
they give the court and they tell everybody everything. This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
what I will be positive for. This is why I'll be positive. It's not telling them after the fact, they tell them the UA. So you're going to do the UA today. If that UA is negative,
Okay.
then you're going to do NA or either AA meetings. That's going to be 90 meetings in 90 days. If it's positive, you're doing intensive outpatient treatment with probation, and we're going to place you on the UA hotline.
Okay.
Is there anything else, Mr. Todd?
Yes, Judge, he's currently on GPS. We would ask that be removed.
All right, are you in agreement of moving GPS?
It wasn't discussed, Judge. We'll leave it up to the court, but we're not opposed to it.
All right, Mr. Klein, I'm not inclined to remove GPS. You're under deferred adjudication for stalking. And I don't know if those stalking issues have been addressed, but what I do know about stalking is it takes a lot of work to stalk someone because you've got to build your life around the person that you're stalking. So if that person decides all of a sudden to change up their routine and do something different, then you've got to change your routine to do something different. So Mr. Todd, if you will come back in 3 months and confer with the state beforehand so they can speak with the complainant, the court will consider a removal of GPS. But for now, with the drug issues, the court is not inclined.
May we have partial or tracking, Judge, just so that he can work during that time?
Yeah,
All right, that's something you have to file a motion on that, Mr. Todd, and then the court will consider that.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Klein and Mr. Todd, if you'll go to breakout room number 1, probation will meet you there and go over conditions. And please be patient in that breakout room because we have another sentencing coming up and I need probation in this room so they'll know what the court is requesting. Shannon Locke, are you ready to proceed? You're on mute.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Klein and Mr. Todd, you both have the abilities to go to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Judge.
If it'll help, I can move you both to breakout room number 3 so it can pop up on your screen. Let me do that.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who's the prosecutor on Shannon Locke's client, Coy?
All right, Judge.
All right, and your client is in the courtroom, Mr. Locke, is that correct?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I think he's in the custody of the Bexar County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
Or at the jail, as they say.
All right, Mr. Who is the prosecutor on Mr. Coy?
All right.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 5794, State of Texas versus Joseph Ernest Coy. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Shannon Locke for Joseph Coy.
And are you Mr. Coy?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding with this sentence by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
And the court will note for the record that the defendant entered a plea by video on August 5th, 2021. The defendant pled guilty to count 1. State waived count 2 without objection. According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is asking that your punishment be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state will remain silent on your applications. They're taking in consideration 2021 CR 2488. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Angelica Rodriguez, AKA Angelica Martinez. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
The state has.
As has the defendant, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, then the state is silent. Defense, are you ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor. And just for the record, for the court's edification, Mr. Coy is currently in jail. He had his bond revoked after an affidavit of surety to surrender. It wasn't. It was an issue between him and his bondsman. Nothing other than that. If the court could just take notice of that. And then I have 2 witnesses, Your Honor.
Yes.
I have Angelica Martinez. If the court will excuse her, Mr. Coy has pled guilty to the assault of a pregnant person. She just had her baby, and she's here to testify in support of Mr. Coy.
All right, so is she going to say something that's different than what was in the police report or no? Because if she's going to give different testimony than what was in the police report, then she'll need an attorney appointed to represent her.
So, Your Honor, our only purpose in calling Ms. Rodriguez is to talk about her support of him and how he could move forward on deferred adjudication. I'm not interested in asking her questions about what happened that day.
Okay, and Mr. Coy, I'm going to mute you because we're getting sound. And is this Ms. Martinez that's on the screen?
LG Stylo 6, I believe, is Ms. Martinez, Your Honor. I also have Rita Coy. They're together, but I'm not sure if they're on the same
calling as your
bus.
first witness?
Angelica Rodriguez, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, can you unmute for me?
Okay.
All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. I'm going to need you to make sure that you speak up. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Angelica Rodriguez.
So Angelica Rodriguez, is that what you said?
Yes.
All right, defense.
Okay, and Angelica, could you please tell us a little bit about Joseph? And did you just have your baby?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and when did you have your baby?
I had my baby at 12:43.
Okay, and so the two of you, you're familiar with Joseph and the steps that he's willing to take to address his mental health situation?
Yes, sir.
And could you tell the court a little bit about that?
As far as him being with that, he has been getting help, but with everything going on right now, with him being in and out of jail, it's he hasn't been able to proceed with him receiving the medical help that he needs.
Is he willing to participate in mental health treatment?
Yes.
And is he willing to engage in the services necessary to do that?
Yes.
Okay, now you understand that as a condition of the plea bargain, that you're not to have any contact with Joseph. He's indicated to you that he wants to have a part in your baby's life. Will you stay away from each other and deal with that at an arm's length if the judge makes that a condition of deferred?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your plan to do that? How are you going to let Joseph see the baby and participate in his life as a father if you can't have contact with him?
I would be doing switches with the grandmother. She would be the one that I would be in contact with. That way I wouldn't have any contact with him.
Okay. And is that Rita Coy?
Yes,
And is she with you right now?
yes,
Like in the same hospital room?
yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions for Ms. Martinez Rodriguez.
All right, any questions from the state?
None from the state, Judge.
Okay. And who's your next witness?
My next witness, Your Honor, is Rita Coy.
How's she listed on the screen?
I think she's just the iPhone judge, and I believe that she's in the same room, but not on the same device as Ms. Martinez Rodriguez.
Okay. All right, Ms. Coy, if you can unmute.
And Ms. Martinez will need to mute.
Hello.
Yes, thank you. If you could
morning.
raise your right hand for me, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you
Yeah.
can lower your hand if you could state your name for the record, please.
Rita Coy.
All right, defense.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to ask you some questions now, Ms. Coy. Can you
Yes.
hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you understand that as a condition of the plea agreement, Joseph is not to have any contact with Angelica. Is that right?
Yes,
So if he were to get deferred adjudication, where is he going to live?
at my house.
Okay. And does Angelica live with you right now?
No,
Okay. So he would reside with you, is that right?
yes,
Okay. And tell me about your household. Is this a place where you tolerate drug use or any other kind of illegal activity?
no.
Okay. Have you noticed that Joseph has suffered from mental health issues?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And are you willing to support him in getting treatment?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay. That means taking him to counseling.
Yes.
Has he had experience going to mental health treatment in the past?
He's been at Laurel Ridge and he's been at the San Antonio Behavioral Center. And, he does good once he's there, but like with this COVID and everything going on, it's really messed him up.
Okay.
I talked to him. We talk to each other and he tells me, Grandma, my mind, it won't stop.
Okay.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to say nothing. I just want to be myself, but I can't. And so that's why one of the counselors, Dora Blake, I talk to her. I keep in touch with everybody at the centers and, so on and so forth, and I ask, help Joseph. He needs the help and he wants it. He wants the help because he's like, Grandma, I need help. And I go, I know, baby, I know you do. So like I said, I know he will be able to go ahead and, do what he has to do.
And so would that include, so you'd be willing to take him to his appointments
Yes.
and make sure that he's taking his medication as prescribed?
Yes.
And if you notice him going off track, would you be willing to call the probation officer and say,
yes.
look,
Yes, I will.
okay. So if he's going off track, you'd be willing to let the court know through the probation officer or through whoever else that he's not doing what he's supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All righty. And Your Honor, I have no further questions for Ms. Coy.
State, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any other witnesses?
Your Honor, I know Mr. Coy would like to address the court.
All right, Mr. Coy, you want to raise your right hand? You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hands. State your name for the record, please.
Joseph Ernest Coy.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Mr. Coy, talking a little bit, you just heard your grandmother and Angelica, the mother of your child, testify in your support, do you
Yes, sir.
understand? Do you understand how important it is for you to engage in this treatment?
Yes, sir. I understand how important it is.
Okay, can you tell the court? Can you tell the court why it's so important?
Why it's so important is because if I don't get the help that I need, then I start falling off and I start doing bad things. I start doing drugs and like my grandmother said, that I do want the help. I do ask for the help. And I try to go to my meetings and the Center for Healthcare. I try to stay with that, but then I end up falling off and I end up going to jail. And I've been in and out of jail for a long time already, and I'm just ready to change my life now that I got my son here. I'm willing to be a father, and I'm willing to go to NA classes, AA meetings or whatever. I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
So if the court were to give you intensive outpatient treatment, would you be willing to do that?
Yes, sir. I'd be willing to do anything.
Okay. And so that willingness, you understand, that means that you have to engage in this mental health treatment also.
Yes, sir. I'm willing to do anything.
Okay.
Just so I could be out and see my family and be with my family and be a father that I never had. And I'm willing to take my medication and stay with my medication.
Okay. And engage in that counseling that your grandmother was talking about before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so, Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
Any questions from the state?
Briefly, Judge. Mr. Coy, you've been on probation before, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've been arrested. You stated you've been in and out of jail. You've been arrested quite a few times, right?
Yes, sir. I've been in and out of jail since 17 years old.
Okay. And now, when you may be subject to prison, you're stating that you're willing to change, right?
Yes, sir. I'm willing to change now that I got my son here. I'm willing to be the father that I never had.
Okay. And so you're willing to change because of your son?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you didn't feel the same way when you first heard about your son, right? When you first heard that she was pregnant with your son?
There was issues with that, sir, where it may not be mine or whatever. So
well, let me stop you there. The issue was right after you heard about her being pregnant, you attacked her.
Yes, sir.
You assaulted her.
Yes, sir.
The woman that is pregnant with your son.
Yes, sir.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, any follow-up from the state? I'm sorry, from the defense?
Mr. Coy, do you can you tell the court the impact that the methamphetamines had on you? Did that contribute to the assault that you participated in?
Yes, sir. It did. At the time I was on meth, and I was up for more than 48 hours. So I was already hallucinating, and plus with my schizophrenia that I was diagnosed with, it didn't go together. So it made me hallucinate more. So that's what made me act out on how I acted out on Helica.
And you understand that you were responsible for that?
Yes.
And you also understand that that's why you have to engage in in this mental health treatment and also in the drug and alcohol counseling.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because that's who you become, left to your own addiction and your untreated mental health. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Just one moment.
It was involving domestic violence case, but there were no charges because
All right, I just have where is Miss Martinez's parents? Miss Martinez, can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are your parents?
They reside in Austin.
Okay, so is your only support system here the defendant's mom?
I'm sorry, what?
Is your only support system Mr. Coy's mother?
And it is her his grandmother.
I do have
I'm sorry, grandmother. Thank you, Mr. Locke. Is your only support system Mr. Coy's grandmother?
No, it would be her, and then I have my mother and them to support me as well.
But your mother, you said your family is in Austin. So
Yes.
is your only support system here in San Antonio the defendant's grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. All right, the court will hear argument. The state is silent. Defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. So Mr. Coy clearly has mental health issues. I think that is just beyond dispute. The court has an opportunity to help him address those issues, and I think that we have, as a society, we have an interest in addressing those issues head on. Right now, he's been in custody for a little while. What the court could see as a jail sanction. He has been in custody, and he finds himself at a spot where he is absolutely willing to participate in this treatment and in this counseling. I think that the court should encourage that attitude and allow him to engage in the intensive outpatient treatment that is available from the Center for Healthcare Services. He is somebody that is extraordinarily regretful of what happened, extraordinarily regretful, and I think has a clarity about who he becomes if he's not engaged in this treatment. The court, frankly, has an opportunity to either encourage that clarity or turn its back on it, and I'm hopeful that it will encourage that clarity and take advantage of this spot where he's willing to do what he needs to do to take care of himself. I mean, frankly, Your Honor, he's going to be schizophrenic for the rest of his life. He's going to be a drug addict for the rest of his life. If he goes to prison for 3 years, in 3 years, he will be a schizophrenic drug addict leaving prison without any treatment. And so if the court puts him on deferred adjudication for whatever length the court wants to put him on, he's going to be somebody who has the same ability to get sent to prison, perhaps for longer. And he will have the treatment and the drug education and then available to him so that he could be successful. So, Your Honor, I think that the court should put him in the intensive outpatient treatment and let him do that, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Coy, I'm sharing the screen. You see this section right here? It says bodily force. Yes, what type? The victim stated the defendant punched her 2 times with a closed fist on her stomach. The victim also sustained a bump to her head, scratch to her left cheek, bruising to her left forearm, laceration from being punched to the head, and pain to her right hand. So, Mr. Coy, when you were punching her in the stomach, what were you thinking?
At the time, I was thinking a lot of things were going on.
Specifically, what were you thinking? She had just told you she was pregnant and you were punching her in the stomach. So what were you thinking when you were punching her in the stomach after she told you she was pregnant?
I was thinking that it's not my child, and I'm thinking that she was lying.
And you were thinking you need to get rid of the baby, right? Because it's not yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Locke, do you want to follow up with a question with Mr. Coy?
So, Joseph, when you're in that situation, how clear are your thoughts?
Now?
I mean, before, when you were at that point, when you'd been up for 48 hours and were you thinking clearly?
No, sir, I was not thinking clearly. I was thinking like a lot of my schizophrenic was bothering me at the moment. At the time, it was telling me like a lot of things. My voices were talking to me, and I was hearing a lot of things in my head at the time where I did not care about nothing at the moment. I didn't have no feelings. I didn't have nothing. I was just acting upon what I was hearing in my head.
And so you were feeling both. I mean, you were having a schizophrenic episode and you were also using methamphetamines. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now that you are both sober and you're able to look back on that, is that anybody who you want to be again?
No, sir, that's not who I want to be. That's not the Joseph Ernest Coy that I am. I'm really different. If you talk to my grandmother and my people, they'll tell you that I'll give you the shirt off of my back. You know, I'll give you my last.
Okay. But when you're having a schizophrenic episode,
When I'm
understand
having a schizophrenic episode, I'm not me. I'm totally different. I guess I'm a monster.
Okay. And so you understand that to not become that monster, you understand what you have to do.
Yes, sir. I understand what I got to do.
I have no further questions.
All right. This is what the court will do. The court's going to deny your application, find you guilty, sentence you to 3 years in prison, a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent, credit for any time served, taking consideration 2021 CR 2488. There's affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Angelica Rodriguez, AKA Angelica Martinez. Mr. Coy, if you'd like, I could refer you to therapeutic community. Being placed in the therapeutic community will not extend your sentence in any way. But in order to be considered, one, you actually have to apply. I can just request it, but you'll have to apply. So would you like to be considered for the therapeutic community?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna show you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Or did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, and because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Coy, I know you may think 3 years is a long time, and it is a long time when you're locked up. But when you're released from custody, you will need to seek whatever help you need to seek. There are plenty of places in San Antonio for people who have mental health issues. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there are plenty of free places if you have drug issues as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if there's nothing else, we'll close the record.
Your Honor, will you retain jurisdiction of this case?
No. If there is nothing else, do you need to speak, Mr. Locke, do you need to speak with Mr. Coy anymore?
If I could, Your Honor, that'd be great.
All right, Mr. Coy, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, could you give me the ability to share my screen?
Yes, you should have the ability. If you don't, just come back in and let me know.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Coy, I'm going to send you and your attorney to breakout room number 3.
And Your Honor, you're giving him credit for the time that he's already served, correct?
Yes.
Everything I was just trying to indicate that I was trying to contact you more than once. I think I missed you 5 times.
Mr. Coy, you need to go to the breakout room.
How do I do it?
Breakout room number 3.
How do I do that, Your Honor?
Do you see anything at the bottom of your screen that says breakout rooms?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, click on that and it'll send you to number 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Rick Ramos.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here on Mr. Garrett room. I'm not sure if the court was able to find the motion to remove GPS that we'd filed.
Just one moment. To the clerks, do you have the motion on Garrett Room, please? And then Jason Todd, you're back.
Yes, Judge, I had sent a chat to Joe Ray, and I'm just seeing if he catches it once he's got away from the plea.
Sure.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. Matthew Finch, who do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here for Joseph Ramirez. I know we have some motions to set bonds on all of his felonies.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial, Judge, and I was previously confirmed with Tom if he's here this morning.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Judge, I'm sorry, I was on the phone. What was the motion you needed?
I'm waiting for the motion on Garrett Room from Mr. Rick Ramos.
Okay, let me take a look.
Thank you. And then Stephen Harkowitz. Oh, I'm
Yes,
so
Judge.
sorry. I sent you to the wrong room. Mr. Finch, if you could go to breakout room number 3, a prosecutor will meet. No, I'm sorry, number 2. A prosecutor will meet you there. And
Thank you,
then
Judge.
Steve Harkowitz.
Yes, Judge. I'm back regarding one Ramirez to see what the status of his treatment is.
All right, Rebecca, do you have an update on that?
They haven't responded, but as far as the time remaining, but I know last time when we were here, they were pending a medical, and that medical has been completed, and he has been medically cleared as of September 21st. And then usually after all the medical and legal clearance, it's a 6 to 8 weeks.
All right. Norma on Mr. Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez, can you unmute for me, please?
Okay.
Yes. All right, Mr. Ramirez. My understanding is that you've been medically cleared. So we're going to recall you in 6 weeks just to make sure that you've been transferred. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And which treatment is he waiting for, Rebecca?
The
Safety
DDRF.
special needs?
The DDRF.
Oh, DDRF. All right, Norma, can I have a 6-minute reset, please, for Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, ma'am. I'll put it in the chat, Judge.
Thank you.
They want to do an evaluation or something. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, we're going to call you back. Mr. Harkowitz, what is best for you, November 12th or November 15th?
Your Honor, probably the 15th. I'm going to be on vacation the week of starting the 5th, and I'm going to be back on the 15th.
Okay, why are you bragging to us? We're going to be here. You're going to be off enjoying your vacation.
The first one in 2 years.
Okay, I'll give you that. All right, do you need to speak with your client again?
Just real briefly, Your Honor.
All right, after you finish with him, if you could bring him back to the main room, please, so we can dismiss him here.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll send you to breakout room number 4. Mr. Ramirez, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, the next person who's up, Mr. Ramos. After I do this case, I'm going to take up Mr. Roon. They just brought me the paperwork on that, so I'll take that up after this case. Mr. Harkowitz, I believe I moved you to the breakout room.
You said number 4, but when I pressed on breakout rooms, it said number 2, so I didn't.
I'm sorry, go to number 2. The rooms are doing crazy things. Mr. Finch, I'm sorry, if you could go back to number 4. I know you're getting company in number 4 other than Tom.
Yeah, Judge. Well, they threw me out of Tom's room while we were literally talking and threw me in with a different wrong Ramirez from the jail. So
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll go back to breakout room number 4 with Tom.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Brenda, it's a Monday with the breakout rooms. All right, Julian Salazar Jimenez, who's the prosecutor on this case?
Hunter Morris, Judge. Are we about to do this plea, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, this defendant also has a probation case. Let me know when you're ready for that cause number.
Sure.
2016 CR 7311.
All right, to the clerks, could I have 2016 CR 7311, please?
Yes, Judge.
Are you going up?
All right, in the courtroom, you need to have the courtroom on mute.
Unmute the other computer.
The one, yes. Thank you. All right. Court is calling 2016 CR 7311 and 2020 CR 7578, State of Texas versus Julian Omar Salazar Jimenez. Could I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Andres Campion.
And are you Julian Salazar?
Yes, Your Honor.
And each of these cause numbers, we're proceeding by video. The court will note that the defendant is in the courtroom and we're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Jimenez, sorry, Mr. Salazar Jimenez. Did you review the documents with your attorney entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference? Did you understand those documents and did you electronically sign them?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. We're going to proceed first on 2016 CR 7311. Can I have the stamp for this, please?
Your Honor, the defense would have an oral motion before the court to early terminate the defendant's deferred adjudication supervision.
Yeah, just 1 second. Mr. Salazar, in this cause number, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision, and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Your Honor, I believe those were withdrawn.
Were these withdrawn, state?
Judge, it looks like the MTR was withdrawn in July of 2020, and he was continued. So if those motions predate July 22nd of 2020, then those have been withdrawn. And
then what Judge, are you all requesting in this case?
We're just going to request this court just terminate him unsat. He's playing to time on the new case.
That is correct.
Right, then someone will have to file a motion with regards to terminating him unsat. And if that is your agreement, then the court will terminate him unsatisfactorily on that case. Do you understand, Mr. Salazar?
Yes, Your Honor.
So once the court receives the motion to terminate you unsat on that case, if that's a part of your plea bargain agreement, then the court will terminate you unsat and cause number 2016 CR 7311. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. We will have that filed with the court within an hour or two, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, now we're going to proceed in 2020 CR 7578. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
To the best of my knowledge, I've received all the discovery that the state has told me that they have.
All right, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Salazar Jimenez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, and an amount from 200 grams to less than 400 grams.
No objection from the defense.
Mr. Jimenez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with, or the count that the state is proceeding on is the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 200 to 400 grams. That's a first degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life, and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe that he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Mr. Salazar Jimenez, has anyone threatened, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Campion, we're going to go off the record for a moment. If I could see you in the office, there's a place where your client needs to initial, because I see some things were written in. It was written in that he's a U.S. citizen in ink.
Yeah, he wrote that himself, Your Honor.
Yes, if you could have him initial it, just so that the documents will be clear, please.
I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Oh, hey, Judge. When we go back on the record,
yes,
just for clarity, we're waiving count 1 and we're proceeding on the lesser in count 2.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Yeah, because it looks like I just wrote it. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Coy, I didn't notice that the state dismissed his other case. I just want to make sure that gets TIC'd. It was part of the record or part of the plea agreement.
No, as soon as they email it to me, I will sign it.
Okay.
So they usually email it to me, Mr. Locke. And once it comes through my email, I'll sign it. So it'll be taken in consideration.
Okay. Hunter, do you need the case number or anything like that?
Was this my plea?
No, it was Joe Ray.
I mean, if you want to give me a case number, I'm happy to take down a case number.
It's well, it was a CTD case number.
Okay.
On a family violence plea.
Hunter, I got it.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Troy.
Thanks, though.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you can. Thank you. All right, we are back on the record. And just so that the record can be clear, the defendant had written into the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit or Admonitions. He had written in the word guilty as for his plea, and he had written in the words, "I am a U.S. citizen." And the court just asked that that be initialed by the defendant so the record can be clear and the documents can be clear that this was the defendant's writing. Mr. Julian Salazar Jimenez, are you the person who wrote in your plea of guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you the person who wrote in, "I am a U.S. citizen"?
Yes, Your Honor.
And another clarification for the record is that the state waived count 1 and they're proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 200 grams to 400 grams in count 2. Any objections to that defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
And do you understand that you're proceeding on the lesser included offense in count 2, Mr. Salazar Jimenez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 200 to 400 grams. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $0 fine and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement? Oh, you're on mute, Hunter.
Thank you, Judge. It is the agreement. We've just also agreed that we terminate his probation case, his state jail case, unsat.
All right, any objections to the court writing into the plea bargain agreement that cause number 2016 CR 7311 will be terminated unsatisfactorily?
No objection.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Salazar Jimenez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing it, you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
We had a bunch of motions that were filed, Your Honor, but things were resolved prior to them getting a full hearing and a ruling.
Okay. All right, then Mr. Salazar Jimenez to the offense of possession of controlled substance, penalty group 1, 200 grams to 400 grams. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
State offer states 1 and attachments, Judge.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Salazar Jimenez, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Your Honor, I would ask the court, perhaps, if possible, I believe the last time we had spoke, there was, I had explained to the court that his wife was buying a house and was wanting to help her move in. That purchase was done on the 21st. However, the people that sold the house have not moved out yet. I was wondering if the court would entertain allowing him to surrender on the 1st of October, which would be this Friday. If the court would not do that, we would ask that allow him to turn himself in today at 5 p.m. no later. And if not, of course, he is here in the courtroom, present and able to be taken into custody. For what it's worth, Your Honor, he has been on pretrial for the duration of this case and has not had any violations or anything like that. He's always appeared. I don't believe he's had any FTAs, and he is willing and ready to accept his punishment, but would just ask the court to allow him to do that if possible.
Okay, all right, that will be denied. The defendant will be sentenced to 6 years in the prison, given credit for any time served, will terminate unsatisfactorily 2016 CR 7311. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from the state judge.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, next I'm going to show you Mr. Salazar Jimenez, what's entitled Trial Court Certification of the Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Salazar, good luck to you. Know better, do better. You understand?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, who's the prosecutors on Garrett?
Senator Morris.
All right. Court is calling CM 084726, State of Texas versus Garrett Weed Brune. Could I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Senator Morris.
For the defense?
Ramos.
And are you Garrett Brune?
Yes.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the defense is here on a motion requesting removal of GPS. State, have you had a chance to review that motion?
Not the filing itself, Judge, but defense did advise me of its contents.
All right. Are you ready to proceed, State?
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may begin.
Yes, Your Honor. So just to give the court a little background, Your Honor, this is the third time we've been back. The first time we came in, we asked for permission for Mr. Roon to be able to go to class. The court did grant that. There's been zero issues. Mr. Roon has been on a GPS monitor since, I believe, April 28th of this year. So going on 5 months at this point, Your Honor, with no violations. We did come back at the end of August, and that was for permission to have Mr. Roon go and get an MRI. He was having issues with his appendix, if I'm not mistaken, Your Honor. The court granted that with the caveat that he immediately put it back on as soon as the doctor cleared him. Mr. Roon did that without any issue. At that time, the court advised us that the court would consider removing it. It was what we were requesting at the end of August, but I believe the court wanted to make sure that Mr. Roon was going to comply with the court's order, which he did, which is why we're back here today. Mr. Roon does have a 2-year-old, Your Honor, being that he's not allowed to kind of leave the home other than for class. It does put a strain on the family relationship that he's not able to help out around the house unless, he's able to pop in on his way home from school. He is in an aviation mechanics program. He has a 3.95 GPA with no issues. He's wanting to start an honors program that's going to keep him out past the normal school time. So he is requesting that the court remove the GPS, and in the alternative that it be changed to tracking only, Your Honor. The victim in this case, it was an upstairs neighbor of his in an apartment complex. He no longer lives at that apartment complex, so that's not an issue at this point. So we would ask the court to remove the GPS.
All right, State.
Judge, I reviewed the reports, and it does look like the circumstances surrounding the incident are different. The state would defer to the court on whether or not to remove the GPS, but would ask for a no harmful or injurious contact with the spouse of Mr. Roon and the child.
So who are the complainants in the case?
The complainant, Your Honor, was the upstairs neighbor, and if I have a second, I can give you her name. Charges. Linda Alapisco, Your
Can you
Honor.
spell the last name, please?
Yes, it's A as in Alpha, L as in Lima, A as in Alpha, P as in Papa, I as in India, S as in Sierra, C as in Charlie, O as in Oscar.
All right, and so State, you're requesting no harmful or injurious contact. Is there a reason that that needs to be in there? There's some issues with someone else?
Judge, it looks like the underlying situation around the burglary was family oriented, allegedly.
Okay, and
That
who
is,
is, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Mr. Morris.
oh, thank you, Judge. That is the reason that I'm asking for the no harmful.
All right, and who is the person you want the no harmful or injurious contact with?
I believe it's Elizabeth Zubiate.
And last name spelling, please.
I don't have it in front of me, Judge. I believe it's Z.
I've got it.
Okay.
I've got it. Right. It's Z as in Zulu, U as in umbrella, B as in Bravo, I as in India, A as in Alpha, T as in Tom, and E as in Echo.
Okay. All right, this is what the court will do. The court will do tracking. What is the latest time he is out working?
He does do Uber, Your Honor. So it's really just if he had the permission, it would be based on whatever the court grants him, Your Honor. Aside from the times that he's not in class, and he would be in class with the new honors program. And Mr. Room can correct me, but I believe it would be past 9:30 p.m.
All right, Mr. Room,
that would be correct.
Is there any reason why you would go towards this apartment complex?
No, there's no reason I would ever go over there. I have no reason to be there anymore.
All right, so whether you're Ubering or a Lyft driver, whatever, you're not to be around that apartment complex to go and pick up someone from that apartment complex. You understand?
So if I get a ride to there, I'm not supposed to go there.
No.
Okay.
So what is the name of the apartment complex?
It was Blue Swan. I think it's called it's 11710 Parliament Street. They just changed the name, so it's escaping me right now.
All right, so you're to have no contact with that apartment complex, no contact with Linda Alapisco, no harmful or injurious contact with Elizabeth Zubiate.
That means like we live together. We're a happy family and everything now.
I'll explain it to him, Your Honor. Garrett, I'll explain it to you.
Okay, sorry.
You can.
Okay, sorry.
So we'll do GPS tracking, no contact with Linda Alapisco, or the apartment complex where the alleged incident is to have occurred, and no harmful or injurious contact with Elizabeth Subianti. Is there anything else from either side?
Judge, I put the name of that complex, I believe, in the chat.
Oh,
Solera. Yeah.
yes. So there's to be no contact with Solera, SOLARA appointments.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, then you all are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen Harkowitz.
Yes, Judge, regarding Mr. Ramirez, I went and visited with him. But while we were talking, apparently has a change of heart regarding this treatment and no longer wants to do the treatment.
Well,
So
I mean, Mr. Ramirez, you're doing the treatment. So thank you, Mr. Ramirez, for your input. You're doing the treatment. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to be back here on another case. And then you're going to tell whomever that judge is, well, I just need treatment. Nobody ever offered me treatment. I have mental health issues. Nobody gave me treatment. Or I have drug issues. Nobody else gave me treatment. And I'm changing my ways. Well, I'm going to help you change your ways. You're getting treatment. Norma, you can let them know that 14E can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Harkowitz.
Thank you, Judge.
Matthew Finch.
Yes, Judge, regarding, is my client Joseph Ramirez here this morning?
All right.
I
Is
don't
your
see him on the
client on bond?
No, John, he's in custody.
All right, Norma, can you see where Joseph Ramirez is, please? And Bill Davidson, who do you have?
You know, I have Kevin Veals. I've seen him on. He looked like he was walking or something. I think he's on.
Yes.
I did have a motion for taking it off the monitor, but I had not run it by one of the DAs. I was hoping to maybe go into a breakout room with him and talk to them.
All right, do you remember who you conferred with last?
I have down here Thomas Nisbet.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2 and Tom will meet you there.
Okay, thank you.
And then Norma, I'm going to put in the chat box, we're missing 2 attorneys.
I'm sorry, Judge?
I'm going to put something in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, what number did Bill Davidson just go to?
He is in breakout room number 2.
It looks like that is a family violence case. I think he's probably mistaken about talking to me. So that's got to be a David or Joe Ray.
All right, David or Joe Ray, could you go to breakout room number 2 on Mr. Vales, please? And if everyone could stop, don't let Mr. Dion back into the Zoom. He's supposed to be on his way to turn himself in.
Judge, you sent me the attorneys and I've just sent that to Norma for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Did I send you a chat?
All right, to the prosecutors, Neil Kalfas's sentencing on his case is at 2 p.m.
What was the question, Judge?
Oh, no, Neil Kalfas's on his client, Velasquez, Norma just let me know that's at 2 p.m.
Yeah, I let the victims know. She let me know this morning.
Thank you.
Judge, I see there's a Kevin Brewer in a breakout room. Is he waiting for a prosecutor?
Kevin Brewer is a defendant.
Gebbia was in there and I don't see him in there anymore.
I'm sorry, not Kevin Brewer, James Brewer.
Yeah, James Brewer is a defendant. He's waiting for Gebbia. So I don't know where Mr. Gebbia went. Thank you. Bill Davidson on Kevin Bills.
Yes, Your Honor, I did talk with ADA David Martin, and I was hoping to possibly have a hearing where my client could speak to the court on this issue as well. He's very adamant this GPS come off.
All right, has a motion been filed?
Yes, Your Honor, I did file a motion some time ago, actually.
All right, let me see if I can find it.
Hopefully it's there. If it's not, I can certainly send it back in, but if it's not possible, I'd like to reset it for another day.
Oh, no, we'll hear it today. I mean, that motion should be here.
It's called motion for GPS allowance for work by removal of monitor. I made up the name, so it's kind of different.
All right, to the clerks, I need a motion. And is it the motion to remove GPS, Mr. Davidson?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right, so the state, I'm sorry, clerks, I need the motion on bills. Mr. Davidson, can you email another motion? I'm gonna put my email address in the chat box.
Okay, thank you.
And if you'll include the state in that email.
I'm not really sure what David Martin's email is. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I will put it in the chat box to you as well.
Thank you.
The person who's listed at Dion, why do you keep coming back to the Zoom? You're supposed to be turning yourself in. That was the court's understanding. Can you unmute, please?
I didn't know. I didn't hear it. My fault. Because it went in and went back out.
All right, well, you need to speak with Kathy Compton because the understanding of the court was you were turning yourself in this afternoon.
All right.
So call your attorney.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Finch, we're just waiting for your client to be brought over from his cell.
Yes, Judge, that's what Norma told me. Thank you. I'll wait patiently.
You're welcome.
Judge Boyd,
Yes.
I do have David Martin's email. I'm not really sure the other email you want me to send it to though.
Okay, I thought I had sent mine as well.
I'm sorry, I just don't see it in the box.
No problem. I'll resend it.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you're welcome. James Brewer. James Brewer. It's Monday. All right, Mr. Davidson, I received your motion. James Brewer, could you unmute for me, please?
Hello,
Hi, Mr. Brewer.
am I doing this right?
Yes, where are you located, Mr. Brewer?
At my apartment, ma'am?
Is this in Bear County?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you need to be in the courtroom, Mr. Brewer.
Okay, I was told I was supposed to be on Zoom this morning. I didn't know.
Okay, no problem. But you need to be in the courtroom.
So I need to go there right
Just
now?
one moment, your attorney is zooming in and I'll let your attorney speak with you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got lost a while ago. I didn't know how to get back to you.
No problem. Mr. Gebbia?
Hello, Judge.
Hello. Hi, your attorney needs to be in the courtroom.
My attorney?
I'm sorry, your client. It's Monday.
Okay.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
gonna put you all in a
I mean, it
breakout.
was in a opposed, so.
Okay, we'll get that taken care of.
Yes, so I'll send you to a breakout room with your client. And if you could let him know where he's located, Mr. Brewer, where we're located. Mr. Brewer, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 1 and speak with your attorney.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, you're welcome. All right, and the parties on Mr. Vills, are we ready? All right, David Martin, did you receive the motion from Bill Davidson?
Yes.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 4055, State of Texas versus Kevin Vills. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
David Martin.
for the defense?
William Davidson.
And are you Mr. Vills? You need to unmute Mr. Vills.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Are you Mr. Vills?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's okay. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Vils, do you have any objections to us proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, defense has filed a motion for GPS allowance for work or either by removal or monitor. State, are you in receipt of this motion? Or are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I please have my client sworn in?
All right, Mr. Vils, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you could state your name for the record, please.
My name is Kevin Roy Vils.
Mr. Vils, I'm your attorney, and we've talked for a long time on this case. Can you tell me the nature of your work, what you do for a living?
I'm a mobile mechanic, and I work for, when I'm not working at Take 5, to help my fiance pay the bills because she have disabilities. When I'm not at work at Take 5, I just started there last week, but I've been working for BG's staffing. Like right now, I'm at work right now, and I go all over they send me all over to an apartment complex, and I fix apartment complex. And when I'm not doing that on the weekends, I have my own business as a mobile mechanic.
And how long have you been?
And it calls Endo Auto Mechanic.
Okay, and how long have you been on the GPS monitor?
Since I left jail, for a minute now. I lost count.
Was it May 6th?
Yeah,
Or, you know?
I think so. I think so now.
Okay, and is it possible for you to do your work with this monitor on? Because we've previously tried to get some hours down that would work for you, and I think the last time
it's not possible for me to actually do it because I'm losing money and I'm losing hours.
Okay,
Because
Mr. Bell, Mr. Bills.
Yes.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna have to ask you to do because I know sometimes people, when they don't do this on a regular basis.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what I need you to do. I need you to make sure that your attorney has finished asking the question. And then once he's finished asking his question, then you can answer it. It's very difficult for the court reporter to take down two people speaking at once, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I know you have a lot that you want to say. Trust me, you will have a chance to do that. All right, defense, you may continue.
Thank you. Mr. Vils, do you still work at Harbor Freight?
No, I lost that job.
Okay.
Because of the monitor.
So tell me exactly the companies you work for now.
BG Staffing and Take 5 Automotive.
And then you said
myself.
And you said in addition to this that you have your own business on the side?
Yes, sir.
And when do you do that business?
I've been doing that before I went to jail. I've been working on cars since I graduated from ATI Automotive.
My question is, what hours would you do that business?
My own business, I do it all hours. I do it all hours. Whenever I get a client, because sometimes the job don't last. The latest I ever worked, it was like to 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night on a car.
What days?
Whenever I get the job. It's not every day. It's not actually like a time limit. It's like, because some of the boats be on the cars, they still rusted out and it's hard to get out and it makes the job longer. So it's just like basically when I have a car to work on, dealing with my own business.
What hours on the GPS would work for you?
I can say probably about like 10:30, 11 o'clock would be the latest.
So what are you asking this court for?
It's like basically, I'm really asking the court if they can actually just, if they don't want to take the GPS monitor totally off of me, if they can just take the time limit off me and just have me on just GPS, you know what I'm saying? to know if they want to know where I'm going. I just don't want to have a curfew. I don't need a curfew because where the situation what they got the GPS monitor on me, I have nothing really to go around there for. I don't even go in that area, you know. And if my fiance gets sick, like I talked to you once before, that I had to rush her to the hospital. The curfew stopped me from even bringing her to the hospital, and the ambulance did not show up. They sent the fire truck, so I had to knock on the neighbor's door for the neighbor to go there and things like that, because she had to be rushed to the hospital. And and that was like probably about like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And I couldn't bring her because the monitor went off. And she can't go nowhere because she don't know how to drive. So I bring her everywhere she needs to go, to a doctor's appointments, to, you know what I'm saying, to the grocery store. Everywhere she needs to go, I have to bring her.
Okay, so if the court does not take off the monitor, you're saying that 10:30 at night to what in the morning would work?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think you answered my question, or maybe I didn't ask it right, but 10:30 to what hours in the morning?
I really, like I said, the 10:30 in the morning. I don't understand what you're saying.
You said 10:30. You said 10:30. What did you mean?
When I say 10:30 to 11 o'clock, I'm saying that they're at night. I'm saying nighttime.
Okay, and I'm asking you, if that starts at that time, when does it end in the morning?
It doesn't end, because in the morning I get up and go to work. That's when I finish with it. I get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so you're saying 6 o'clock in the morning.
By like 5:30, I get up at 5, start getting dressed. I leave out the house at like 6 in the morning.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I don't have any more questions for him.
State.
What did you say the name of your business was?
The name of my own business is NO Auto. New Orleans Auto.
I'm sorry?
New Orleans Auto.
New Orleans Auto?
Yes.
Okay.
I have my business cards made up and everything, sir.
Okay. Why is it named New Orleans Auto? If you're
Because that's where I'm from, New Orleans.
Oh, you're from New Orleans?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is your middle name Roy?
Yes.
Okay, so if somebody was trying to contact the complainant with the name N.O. Roy, would that be you?
I don't have that page anymore. Somebody hacked my Facebook pages.
Okay. Let's try again. If somebody was trying to contact the complainant under the name N.O. Roy, that would be you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And have you been trying to contact the complainant? N.O.
Nope.
Roy?
Nope.
No?
I have no reason to. I'm too busy trying to work and get the money that I gotta pay the city. I have no reason to contact her. None at all.
Okay, well, you were contacting her allegedly after you had she had a emergency protective order, right? Because one of the allegations.
When was that, sir?
Are you done? Because only one of us can talk at a time. I thought the
All right,
judge
go
already
ahead.
explained that.
Go ahead.
Okay, because there was an emergency protective order out against you, and one of the allegations in your indictment is that you repeatedly violated that, right? I'm not asking if you did it. I'm just saying in your indictment, that's what you're charged with. Right?
I really don't know.
I have no more questions.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, I respectfully ask the court to remove the GPS monitor. He's had it on since May 6th, and the nature of his work is such that it varies highly. And most of what he does for himself, as far as on auto cars, he tells me is done on the weekends. And if the court is not willing to do this, I would ask for just tracking only. So we know where he's at. So if there's an issue or problem, we can come back to it, but he can still make a living.
All right, state.
Judge, we're opposed to any modification of his GPS at this time. I think we've already addressed his GPS issue for his ability to work. Count 3 in his indictment lists numerous times he's alleged to have violated the emergency protective order by going to the residence of the complainant, direct contact, electronic contact, and
Excuse me, can I say
Mr.
something
Bell,
on
no,
that?
you
No, you
cannot.
can't.
Mr.
I'm
Bell.
talking now, okay? Only one of us can talk at a time, okay? See, this is why I think when you say you don't go to her place because you're not supposed to, you don't understand that and you keep going over there and keep trying to contact her because you can't understand stippled instructions from the judge right now.
All right, Mr. Martin, if you continue with your argument, please.
So not only the allegations of the numerous repeated violations, but also contact being attempted to be made by somebody named N.O. Roy to the complainant, who I think all know is this defendant, N.O. Roy. So his GPS, the way it is, I think is more than fair and probably even a little too lenient for this individual.
All right, defense, it's your motion. Did you need to, it appears that Mr. Bales wanted to say something.
Mr.
Yes.
Bell, did you have something else you wanted to say?
I want to, I will listen to him.
Well,
If
wait a
this is-
second, Mr. Bales, just 1 second. If you're going to say something else, then that means that you're going to open yourself up for a cross-examination.
All
So
right.
the question is, do you want, Mr. Davidson, do you want to speak with your client before he does that?
That would probably be a good idea.
All right, Mr. Bales, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And let me find you on the screen. There you are. Bobby Gebbia, do you know what time your client will perhaps make it?
We went over the PSI and the TAP evaluation in the breakout room. I told him to head down there directly.
So, I mean, we can do it after lunch because we
Okay,
break at 12:30. So if you want, you can come back at 2.
2 o'clock. Okay. All right. No problem, Judge. I'll let him know.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gebbia. Mr. Davidson, did you have a chance to speak with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so are we going to continue with the hearing with your client being placed back on the witness stand?
No, Your Honor, we're not going to do that.
All right, so we're gonna go back on the record, 2021 CR 4055. Defense, it was your motion. The state has made their argument, so I'll let you have final argument.
Your Honor, first off, I want to apologize to the court and even to David Martin, because I never talked to my client about the proper way to do these one-way types of talks. David Martin and I in the court did once meet before on an issue regarding the hours that my client worked, but he didn't actually speak that time. And so my client, I should have given him better direction. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is my client just wants to work to make a living. That's all he wants to do. He denies violations. He says he did go over there with the police to get his stuff, but other than that, he didn't do anything. But that's left for the case in chief to decide. And so we just, again, ask the court to change this to tracking only and to allow him these weekends so he can work on various cars and trucks and try to make a living. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, and I appreciate your apology, Mr. Davidson. This is what the court will do. His employment, and when I say his employment, I mean where he works for someone else. I don't mean the side jobs he does under NO Auto. What is his work schedule for another employer?
He recently changed jobs, so he would have to answer that question. He was working at Harbor Freight, but apparently he's not working there anymore. So
where are you working, Mr. Bills? You're on mute, Mr. Bills.
I work for BG Staffing where I'm at this moment. I'm at work right now. And
what are your work hours with BJ Staffing? Is that B as in boy, J as in Jane?
Yes.
Okay, so BJ Staffing, what is your work schedule?
When they send me on places, sometimes it's at 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening, or if they have a job for me, it takes from 10 o'clock to like 12 o'clock at night. They have different things.
All right, well, the court had previously approved for you to work.
And
so
I work for Take 5 Auto. Take 5 Oil Change.
And you say Take 5 Oil Change?
Yes, on Nacogdoches.
All right. The previous order, the defendant was allowed to work. Is that correct, Mr. Davidson?
yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
All right, I'll continue to allow him to work with BJ Staffing and Take 5 Oil Change. And the court and this thing where he says he's working for people as a mechanic, what is the schedule for that?
He tells me that's completely odd job. Somebody calls him up and says, hey, I need some work done, and it could be anytime. But he says most of it's on the weekend. So I think if we would give him some time on the weekend, that might at least help.
All right, so this is the court will do. You're asking for removal, that will be denied. Defendant is allowed to work upon proof of employment in a work schedule. Defendant is, and that is for your work with that's for your work with BJ Staffing. And Take 5 All Change. Self-employment work. You will be allowed to work on weekends. Let me just put to work on Saturday and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. upon proof of work and schedule. Is there anything else for me to decide? So, Mr. Vales, on Saturday, when you're doing your self-employment work and fixing someone's vehicle, you need to provide notice and proof to probation. And if something happens where you can't provide that notice of proof to pretrial services, I'm sorry, I said probation. But when something happens where you can't provide proof to pretrial services, then you can't do it. So anybody who needs their vehicle fixed, they better call you on Thursday or Friday to let you know so that you can let pretrial services know. Because if you don't let pretrial services know, then you will be in violation and a motion to revoke your bond may be filed. Do you understand?
I'm actually, I don't understand. Because I
All
was,
right, well, let me help you with this.
I'm actually,
Wait a minute, let me help you understand. You told me you work for BJ Staffing, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to provide a work schedule to pretrial services for BJ Staffing. Do you
All right.
understand?
I understand that.
You told me you work for Take 5 All Change.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to provide a work schedule to pretrial services for that.
Yes, ma'am.
You told me that sometimes people will call you to repair their car on weekend.
Yes, ma'am.
You need, if they don't call you on Thursday to let you know that they're going to need you on the weekend, you can't do it because you need to provide proof to pretrial services of where you're going to be and where you're going to be working. And that proof needs to be provided to them no later than Friday morning. So if you're unable to provide that proof for them, you will not be working on the weekends in your business. Do you understand?
Yes. Do I still have the same curfew at 3 o'clock?
I'm sorry, what?
The curfew that they had gave me on this monitor on Saturday and Sunday is still at 3 o'clock?
No, it's 7 a.m. to 12:30. Is there anything else?
Is it shorter now?
Is there anything else? With that, the court is closing the record.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vales.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And everyone, I do think, I think the other person we're waiting on is Matthew Finch. Okay, where did Mr. Ramirez go? Let me go to number 2, everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm on floor, I'm going to floor 2. All right.
Norma, we
Yes,
don't have Mr. Ramirez.
Let me call Judge again. Judge, we're setting him up right now.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Finch, we're waiting for your client, but what I'm going to do, we're going to stop live stream and I'm going to give the court reporter a break. The court reporter will be back at 2, but we're going to see where your client is. And Mr. Finch, of course, this would happen because it is Monday. Let's not forget that. But it's going to be a happy Monday.